Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I am Noelle and this week we are going to do something that looks deceptively simple. We're going to make a robe. But I of course have found many ways to make it very complicated. Let me show you what's going to happen. Okay, I have this beautiful fabric which I bought and I also made a shirt for my cruise out of, which I loved and I thought was beautiful. But as you can see, it's like water. Like it is the most floopy doopy scroopy, squidgy, pain in the butt fabric ever. And that is one of the reasons I love it. Cool. This is a polyester that has been printed on the same printers as they do silk in Italy. So apparently they run this in silk and then they'll run it in poly also. And so I got some dead stock of that. And then this, I believe, is a viscose lining fabric, which I think is beautiful and it totally matches perfectly. I love it. I want to bathe in this stuff, but it is also like water. So what I am going to try to do, I'm going to use this miraculous substance, which is in laundry liquid starch. Many people I talked to about this were like, wait a minute, you can do that in your laundry? I'm like, apparently my grandma used to do it, so I'm feeling like I can do it. I feel like both a child. I'm also 46 years old, fully adult, and I'm talking about things my grandma used to do. So we're going to give this a go. Both of these are washing machine safe, so that's great. So I'm going to try and starch these, at least somewhat, to get them a little stiffer in my washing machine. I don't know really how to do that because I have a front-loading washing machine that has all buttons and no like dial. So what I need to do is do a wash cycle, skip the rinse cycle, and go straight to spin, but I think I figured it out. Another challenge we have is my pattern is too big for this, so there will be piecing involved. There was piecing involved when I made a pattern very similar to this for an 18th century robe. This is more like 1920s vibes, but same pattern, whatever. So I'm gonna try to have to piece this. I might have to piece the inside of the sleeves with more of this fabric because I have 4 yards of this and 3.5 of this. I will make this work somehow. I don't know how yet, but I will make it work. And while I wait for the laundry to run its course, I'm gonna take a little learning break with Craftsy, who happens to be the sponsor of today's video. If you haven't heard of Craftsy, they are your online resource for all things creative. With over 2,000 classes in more than 20 creative categories that are updated constantly, there's always something new to learn. Craftsy teaches through instructional videos taught by talented and friendly experts. Professional instructors walk you through each technique with step-by-step demonstrations, providing their expert tips and tricks. There are so many categories that I find fascinating, but recently I have been very into the photography, embroidery, and obviously the sewing classes. There are hundreds of classes in this category with all skill levels covered. I have been diving into this pattern grading for sewers class, where I'm learning all about techniques to make single-size historical patterns fit my body shape better. What does a membership cost? Well, I have partnered with Craftsy to get you guys an amazing deal. The first 1,000 of you to click the link in the description below will get a full year of premium Craftsy membership for only $1.49. This is an incredible value and I hope you guys take advantage of it. If you do, leave me comments down below telling me that you signed up and also what you're excited to try first. For now, I'm off to learn about pattern grading. Okay, that did work, but I'm gonna say that my expectations were a little insane. So what I was hoping for was it would come out crisp and sharp. It would be silk taffeta. That is not how it came out. It is definitely like got more body. The viscose took it significantly better. I used about 3.5 cups in a quick wash, which doesn't have a lot of water, and then I went straight to spin. And that gave it definitely like more body, but it's not what I expected. I was hoping for much stiffer. The directions really only have instructions for the laundry for jeans, and then they're like, add 6 cups, and I'm like, whoa, that's a lot for, you know, this thin of material. I'm gonna add like a little bit more than half of that. No, I should have just added the 6 cups, I think. I could absolutely just go dunk this in a bucket of water that is way more thickly diluted with starch and probably get to that point if I really wanted to. But I also do think there's something to the polyester, just like, it's still more floopy doopy. And it used to be that the lining was, so the lining, the viscose took it better. So I mean, I think if it was linen, like that would have been way better, and it would have gotten, or like cotton would have starched out like significantly more. So I think what I'm gonna do is, now I'm gonna iron it all anyway, so I am gonna add some spray starch to it while I iron it to get it a little bit more starchy because I would like it to be a little more stiff than it is if possible, because I'm trying to cut out 2 of these robes, right, the lining and the outside, and I need them to be as close to the same as possible to one another, and that's really difficult in fabric that is this squidgy. So there's gonna be a lot of pins involved. There's gonna be a lot of just me swearing, etc, etc. So let me see if I can get some more starch into this. I have 2 bottles of spray starch, so I might as well give this a go, right? I'm gonna clean off the back of my table so that I can do this effectively. All this stuff really shouldn't be on there anyway, so we will deal with that. I'm gonna show you something real quick before I do that though. Okay, so I have acquired these guys, which are mostly buttonhole feet for ancient singers, including featherweights, which I have one of, but I don't really know much about them, and I have a ton of them, and they go for different machines. This one has a book, so you know, that's great, and I'm definitely going to read that book and see what I can find out and see if these things fit my machine in any way. Do I need whatever this is, 6 buttonholers? No. Does anybody have any like commentary on these? This is a rotary. I don't know what that means. Oh, this is just a bunch of stuff. So that's interesting. I inherited this from my friend. This one says attachments. Maybe bias tape maker? I don't know what those springs are for. But this one is definitely for a singer, and these 2 are definitely, well, this says greased product buttonholer, but it does say singer on it, and I assume that this is the same. So if anybody has any commentary on these, please do let me know. Also, if anybody like particularly wants any of these, hit me up in the comments and we'll talk. Because like, I don't know what to do with these. I don't necessarily want them. I don't know what good they are to me. I don't know that I would use them, etc. I might keep one of the singer ones since I have a singer. But yeah, let me know if this is interesting, if anybody knows anything on this, etc, etc. Give me a hand here with research if you already know this stuff. Okay, I did the lining one off camera first just to make sure that this was gonna work. I did go ahead and spray starch that. It worked beautifully. It's much crisper now, so yay for that one. But again, this is the viscose, so who knows. And then I pinned this guy on. I will need to piece right here and right there, but that's okay. I have some of this. I have a bunch of stuff down here, and then if I have to on the arms, I will have some left over of this one, and I can just do that, and that way if I roll the cuffs up, it'll be the same. I don't know, we'll see what happens. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this guy out and then start the other one, and I'll show you that. Okay, so I actually used the piece that goes like right here, these guys, to piece the bottom edge, and it's working out perfectly. Like that's gonna be exactly perfect, so that's great. And I had a little bit at the bottom, so I think I'm gonna get my sleeves out of it. I'm gonna go ahead and piece this guy together, get it all going, and then I will show you the process of how this worked. Okay, we have everything pieced. So I did 4 piecings on the bottom edge here. They kind of disappear, so that's great. And then I also made the sleeves longer so that I could have full sleeves. And they don't disappear as much, but that's okay because this is all the lining. I'm gonna go ahead and do the outside piece now. So we have a bit of a weird one with this piece because while I have 4 yards that go that way, the pattern goes this way. So luckily this does actually fit onto this amount of material. So I think this is gonna be fine. Question mark. I have to see how it is when I double this over and see, you know, does this all actually fit on here? And then I have to leave some to put a seam on the top because there's no seam supposed to be on the top. Like it's all one piece of fabric that is just folded hamburger style and then hot dog style like I did the last one. So I'll have to leave enough room for a seam up here, but I think that should be fine. If I can make this work, it's great because it means the pattern will go the correct way on both sides, because I can definitely do that, and I can also make sure I don't have to do a whole bunch of piecing, and I can just do the one seam. Spraying it and ironing it was kind of like not working. It was just sort of sticking to the iron. So what I actually ended up doing was just spraying it with the starch spray and then like the whole thing, just sort of like drenching it and then throwing it in the dryer. And so that worked. I cut off enough for one piece first so that I can measure it and get it going, and then I will cut the other one, spray it, dry it, and then cut that one out. And then I'll sew them together and we'll be ready to go. Okay, I have a back piece cut out, that's what that pile is, and then a front piece cut out here, and it's actually two, because what's the point of cutting it on the fold and then having to slice it up? I had two edges, so I just used them. So now I'm going to sew the back and front together at the shoulder seam so that I have a thing that looks like this, and then I can carry on. Okay, we have made our lists. It's very short. I could have done each of these individually, but yeah, anyway. This is what's happening. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and lay these out. Okay, it's time for the great sewing. We are first going to do the sleeves. Then the hem. And then the front. Okay, we got this guy done. Do sleeve trick. Okay. Okay, so we're going to talk about the sleeve trick. It's just called, to me, the sleeve trick because you go through the sleeve hole. So like here is the sleeve, and I'm going to actually reach my hand through it because here's the lining and here's the outside. And I'm going to grab the front flappy and I'm going to pull it through. It's going to divide this thing in half. It's going to start to fold in half. So the sleeves will meet up, and then I'm going to slide this guy in here, and then I'm going to stitch around this edge. And it's going to stitch all four pieces. So the front piece, it's lining, the back piece, and it's lining all together, which holds it so that it's not just a giant bag in there, which is really nice and very difficult to show. But I will show you in the way that I do it. I cannot promise this will make sense. Okay, the far side is already sewn, and this side is now flipped inside and pinned to within an inch of its life because this is the squidgiest fabric known to man. So we're just gonna sew this up, and then we can flip it inside out and begin the ironing. Get some serotonin on this guy because we did this, and we did this. Woo! Okay, it's time for the great ironing bonanza, or iron-a-palooza, as I like to call it. This part sucks, especially if you live in a part of California where it's been like 104 degrees every damn day. Okay, so I have my air conditioner on so I can stand underneath it and iron away. And all I'm going to do is iron these seams like a little bit more crisp so they just have a little more professional edge. So to do that, I just get this like fluffy edge here, and I sort of roll it back and forth until I get it pretty much to the seam line. And then, see how it's pretty flat there? Then I'll go ahead and pin it down to my mat here in as long of a strip as I possibly can, and go ahead and iron that down, let it cool off, and then I'll move to the next section. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's really just to give you a little crisp edge. Okay, so she needs a collar still, but I thought after all that pressing I just did, I would check it out, and I love it. I think it's beautiful. You could roll up the sleeves to get some more of the accent fabric. I think it's lovely. It has nice swish factor. So I think we're doing good here. So now we're gonna work on the collar, and we're gonna call this good. Okay. This is the neck hole that my neck was most recently in. You might recognize it from being slit. These two things actually were this way, and you just open them up. Until you do this once, it seems very confusing, but then it works. I have two neck pieces. I'm going to attach the outer one first. I'm going to do this all by hand in my bed. I'm going to attach this guy first to this hole by hand. And then I will cover up the whole mess of sewing with this guy, which I will just fell on the inside. And I'm gonna go do this from a peace and quiet of my bed and watch a movie. Possibly The Hunger Games. Okay, there's my neck piece all up in there, sewn on nicely. And we can go look at this. Okay, we got that done. Okay, I took the belt off. Let me talk to you about that. Okay, so I took the belt off the list for a number of reasons. The first of which is that the pattern isn't actually called for a belt. I also, when I was walking around in it, I'm like, I kind of like it without the belt. I have enough of the outer fabric to make a belt, so that's not a problem. But the outer fabric isn't like structurally sound. And either way, I would like to have it, the belt two-toned, even if it was structurally sound, and or piped in the blue. But honestly, this is all the blue I have left. That's it. This is every scrap of fabric that I have left over from this project. So obviously I can't do that. But I got that fabric at Michael Levine, where I got this fabric. So it is possible. I'm going to Southern California in a couple weeks, unfortunately, to go to a funeral. So it is possible for me to stop at Michael Levine and see if they have more of this fabric. I'll bring one of these scraps and, you know, match it. But then I could get more and I could make a belt. Then, I don't know. I don't even know if I want a belt. Like, let's look at it. Okay, so I kind of like it as an open robe. Like, it's very swishy and comfortable. It would be swishy and comfortable if it was closed. Like, I don't hate the closed look, and I might make the belt for that purpose, but like, I kind of like it just free-flowing. So I'm not too worried about, these are my sleepy pants. I'm doing this for full effect because this is honestly what I'm gonna wear underneath this. But yeah, that's what we've got here. Let me zoom in a little bit more, maybe you'll get a better shot of it. There you go. I actually like it as is. Yeah. I think that also means I can cross this off. I don't know if I'm gonna end up needing to do this or not right now, so we'll see. Yeah, so I'm willing to call this project complete. I feel like it's good, it's beautiful, it worked out better than I thought it was going to with the squidginess of this fabric. Like, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a hot mess. But it ended up being actually fine, and I like the robe, like, a lot. Like, I cannot wait to wear it. It should be fun. I guess that means that I'm gonna call this video. This is normally where I tell you all my business. Do I have any business to tell you? Not really. I've had kind of a hard week. I told you guys that I was like, oh, I think I might be getting better. And then I had like immediately a hard week. That is how it goes with long COVID. But, you know, I'm still carrying on, and I do think my recovery time is getting better. Thank you everyone for your warm wishes on that last video and saying such nice things to me about that. I am rewatching Severance right now because I like that show a lot, and I cannot wait for the second season. If you have not seen Severance, it's on Apple TV Plus or whatever. It's good. It's like, it's suspenseful, but it's not like a horror or even really a thriller. It's like, it's about an office. But it is suspenseful for sure, and you don't know what's going on at any given time, and there is a cast of absolutely hilarious characters in this show. It is funny without being funny. I don't know how to put that, but the cast for next season looks lit. Like, I'm pretty sure Gwendolyn Christie's in it. There's like, it looks good. I'm excited for it. So I think they're filming it now though, so I'm not going to see that forever. But I decided to rewatch it because I kept thinking about it. So that's happening. I am listening to my podcast, This Podcast Will Kill You. I'm still enjoying that. I also started a new one, which I actually went through all the episodes that exist currently, which is called Stuff the British Stole. It's a good one. This guy, he's sponsored by the Australian Broadcasting Company, and he goes all over the world, to Greece, to New Zealand, just like all over the place, you know, Elgin Marbles. But like talking about stuff that is now in the British Museum and like how it got there. And it wasn't necessarily all actually stolen. Like some of it was purchased sort of, or donated or whatever. But he gets to the bottom of that, and he talks about the items themselves, not just like the, you know, the British Museum should give them back, but like, this is what the items are, this is what their significance is, this is why they want them back, you know, like that kind of stuff. It's a fascinating thing. There's like, I think about 20 of them right now. The seasons are short because the expense is that he flies, and like they're long, so I think they're like an hour, and so he travels for them, so I'm sure that's why there's like, you know, 4 or 5 episodes per season, but it's pretty good, so I do recommend that one. Anything else important to tell you? I'm gonna go visit Morgan this week. I am leaving on Thursday. You actually may be watching this after I've left already, so I'm gonna go see Morgan, and we are going to get up to some shenanigans, and I'm excited about that. I do not know what or how much I'm gonna film. I might do a vlog while I'm there. I might not do a vlog. I might do videos about stuff specifically. I just don't know. I don't even know what we're gonna do fully yet. I mean, we have plans, but you know, those are all up in the air. Yeah, so I'm gonna be over there for about a week, and then I'll be back, and then I have to go to said funeral. Boo. But it will afford me the capacity to go to Michael Levine for a little bit on my way back. And possibly Home Fabrics to look at their $10 silk sale again. I should not buy more fabric. I really should not buy more fabric. It's just really hard when it's that cheap. Anyway, so that is my business. Now you're up to date with my business, and please go down into the comments below and tell me your business. What are you watching? What are you working on? What are you listening to? Do you got any books that you're listening to or reading manually that you're enjoying? All that kind of stuff. How's life? What's going on with you? How's summer? Is it hella hot where you are? It actually might be cold where some of you are, because there are some of you who are in Australia. Hello, land down under. And New Zealand. Hello, land adjacent to the land down under. Yeah, let me know how your winter is going. How are things? It must be darkest winter right now. Yeah, so hopefully you're all faring well. It has been hot here. It was 107 earlier this week. That was not awesome. It was 102 today. Fun times. Enjoyed that. Greatness. All right, well, I thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to go check out Craftsy and their awesome offer, because like, it's worth it, guys. It's so cheap. Just go try it. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.